Hi, I'm here again with our County Clerk, Jeff Hancock, and this is the third in our series of the Franklin County election information. I'm just going to go ahead and bring Jeff in because I want to talk about, he's been here twice before and the things we've discussed then, just to give an overview. And then to really talk today, we're going to talk about the nitty gritty of Franklin County and the elections, the races that we're going to be voting in, where you can go to vote and when. So welcome, Jeff. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, Kathy, I really appreciate you having us here today. In the first segment, we were able to go over the actual election equipment, and it's really good to get out in front of things and show the public that our election equipment was safe, secure, and it's new equipment. So I don't want them to be surprised when they walk in and everybody's got to vote on a paper ballot. That's the result of House Bill 574. It's a great bill. It really added days to the overall election process. It added the ability for us to go to different locations, have vote centers. So 574 has been very successful, and that's what we went over the very first with our very first segment. I want to thank the plant board for having us and getting this information out there. So we've done that segment. The second segment we went with Secretary Adams. It was a very important segment, and the reason it was is because I wanted everybody to see the changes that have happened and that they're not just happening to Franklin County residents, they're happening to residents all the way across the state of Kentucky. We had the #1 voter turnout that we've ever had in the last presidential election. So the new options that we've added and the new ability for people to vote and the integrity of overall that we had zero voting fraud situations in the state of Kentucky or in Franklin County in the 2020 election. So we're very excited to be here with you, to go through these different things and to show you the maps and make sure everybody knows exactly where they're supposed to go vote. Make sure there's no confusion. So I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah, that's why we're here, and that's key. So, we know we're going to have new equipment, and it's a lot more safe. It's not connected to the internet. And there have been measures put in place by our legislature that are ensuring the integrity of our election. Now we're going to talk about the election itself and voting. So let's look at, first of all, let's look at the sample ballot and what races are going to be covered in this election. What offices people are going to have the chance to vote in. So sample ballot.
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit because I want to remind everybody this is a primary election. Yeah. So you're taking your team. Once again, we're taking our teams to the Super Bowl in November. You're picking your team that you want to represent you from the Republican, the Democratic, or the Independent parties.
So this is the playoffs, huh?
This is the playoffs.
Okay.
On the Republican ticket, you've got the United States Senate race, and you've got the state Senate race. Mm-hmm. And then on the Democratic primary, you've got the United States Senate, the state representatives, you've got the county judges race, the jailer's race, the magistrate for the first magisterial, the third magisterial, the fifth magisterial, and the sixth magisterial, along with a constable race in the third.
There we go.
Depending on where you're at and your location, you could have as few as 2 races on your ballot, mm-hmm. and you could have as many as 6.
I gotcha. Okay. So if you haven't seen a sample ballot, here it is so that you know what opportunities you're going to have to vote in which races. So that's really important. Again, we've been doing the Meet the Candidate interviews. We've had all kinds of candidates in. So now you're gonna be able to know from this ballot based on where you live, who you're going to be able to vote for. So that is good. Now, the big thing is, say you've already made your decision, you know who you want to vote for. Where do you go to do that, and when can you do that?
Yeah, and Kathy, a couple of things that we have to make sure we mention.
Mm-hmm.
We've got that QR code that'll take you directly to our website. It'll
Mm-hmm.
give you the sample ballot. It'll give you all these locations. It'll give you everything that you need to know about the election. So if you have any questions, and I'm sure that the plant board, you've done it in the past, we're just going to go in and give you that QR code you can scan, or you can go to our website and get any of this information. I want to remind everybody, and that's where I was, the online portal closes on May the 3rd. So if you have an excused reason for health, for disabilities, that you want to order an online ballot that gets delivered directly to your house, that you can either mail back to us or drop it off in a drop box, you have to do that by May the 3rd. That date is next Tuesday. So Tuesday, May the 3rd is the last time that you're going to be able to order a mail-in ballot. So if that's your method of voting, please make sure you get those into us as soon as possible. After that, let's talk about these maps a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
The 2 early voting locations, one of the biggest changes that happened with House Bill 574 and 564, which was a cleanup bill to it. The biggest thing, it allowed us for early voting, something that's never been done. We got it through the pandemic, but now we are starting to catch up with the rest of the United States. We're saying not everybody can only vote in those 12 hours of 6 to 6 on election day.
So it's a permanent thing now.
It's a permanent thing. We're
Okay.
gonna have these 3 days of early voting for every primary, for every general. We're gonna have the ability to make sure everybody gets to vote on their terms.
Yeah, so that's the advantage of doing the early voting.
Absolutely.
Because as we've said before, not everybody has the same schedule. People have different work schedules. They have different childcare schedules, adult care schedules, and just different opportunities to be able to get out and vote. We want to give as many people that opportunity as we can. That's why we do early voting with these hours and dates.
And the early voting hours are the 12th, 13th, and 14th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the 12th and 13th. Saturday the 14th, it's from 6 a.m. until 2 p.m.
Okay.
Those 2 locations are the old Frankfurt Plant Board at 317 West 2nd Street. And then the other location is the Capital City Christian Church out on Versailles Road.
Okay.
We picked those locations. The old Frankfurt Plant Board, if you drop a dot in the center of Franklin County in the populations, you would hit the old Frankfurt Plant Board. The second location out at the Capital City Christian Church is because it has the largest traffic count. More people drive by there every day than any other corridor in Franklin County. They're both ADA accessible. You can run a wheelchair
Parking.
in and out. Very, very good locations for what we're doing.
Okay. So say we get through those 2 locations for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before the actual election day. Election day hits on that Tuesday, May 17th. It's on. Where do people go then?
Okay. That is when we go to the magisterial base. That's when we start talking. If you'll take the map behind me, and they'll be able to show you better pictures of this online. But every magisterial district has a representation location. For the 4th magisterial district, which is the following precincts, the Swallowfield, Owenton Road, Peaks Mill, all those will go to the Peaks Mill Elementary. But this is one where we added a rural district in for Peaks Mill and Schweitzer.
Okay.
So we went out to the Schweitzer Rueting Club. If those people weren't coming in, they can go to the Schweitzer Rueting Club. You come down to the 3rd, and it's right here. You've got Franklin County High School. All the precincts that'll they come in under that from the 3rd are Arnold, Forks, Green Hill, Ridgeview, Russell, Shinkle, Scruggs, and Silver Lake. So if you used to vote in one of those, just go to Franklin County.
There you go.
We'll have 8 people out there working. We're also going to have high school kids that are going to be helping with wheelchair assistance. They'll be standing out front. They'll be standing out front with an iPad. If you're in the wrong location, they're going to check you before you ever get in line.
Okay.
We're making this easy for people. We're not going to let you stand in line and say, oh, sorry, you can't vote.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure you get in the right location. On the 2nd district, it's the precincts of Bellevue, Country Club, Franklin Heights, Jet, Station Springs, Sunset, and Terra Linda. They all go to Hearn.
Okay.
For the 4th district, it's Crestwood, Fairview, Gaines Homes, Glenwood, Owenton Road, Peaks Mill, Swallowfield, Schweitzer, Thornhill. They all go to Peaks Mill Elementary. For the 5th, Collins Lane, Louisville Road, North Westgate, South Benson, and Westgate, they go to Western Hills. For the 6th, Ball Knob, Bell Point, Bridgeport Botkins, Courthouse, Hickory Hills, and St. John, they go to West Ridge. We also added a rural district here. Out in Ball Knob and St. John's, we put it at the old fire station.
Okay.
So there's 10 total locations for election day.
10 total locations.
Yes,
Okay, so we have all of these out in the magisterial districts. Can you also, on election day, go vote at Capital City Christian and the old Frankfurt Plant Board?
I'm so glad you asked that. Thank you. Absolutely.
Okay.
If you're confused, those are still to our voting headquarters.
Okay.
So if you just don't know, if you're just, you've thrown too many options at me.
Right.
Go to one of those 2 locations. We're going to get you voted.
Okay.
We're going to have handicap assistance there as well.
Okay.
So we're going to have somebody out helping each voter that needs help. We're going to come out to your car, before you put the effort into coming out, even on early voting, we're going to have someone there to help. We're going to have someone there for those 3 early days of voting and on election day at these locations. When we went to a smaller amount of locations, and some people were fussing, why isn't my precinct here or there back open? We couldn't offer all this assistance. We couldn't offer handicap assistance. We couldn't offer all the assistance that it takes to make sure every voter that is qualified to vote gets to vote. Mm-hmm. Today, we get to do that. We get to do something revolutionary. I mean, we get to go all the way back to Abraham Lincoln. The elections belong to the people.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, we're able to go back to the people. So I'm excited.
Oh, you sound excited.
Yeah.
So, wrapping this up, I'm trying to put a bow on it. So you can vote. Early voting days are
May the 12th, 13th, and 14th.
13th and 14th.
Yeah.
And you can go to the Capital City Christian Church or the old FPB office downtown, which is now Yes Arts.
Yes.
You can do that on those 3 days, early voting. You can also go to those 2 places on May 17th on Election Day. In addition, on Election Day, you can go to one of the magisterial districts that Jeff has covered today. I'm sure we're going to have information that we will share on our social media as well. I'm sure the county clerk's office will be sharing that information as well. They have the QR code you can scan in that will take you directly to that information. So lots of options to vote on, early voting, and then on that day, lots of places to go vote on that day. So again, is there anything else, Jeff? Gosh, we've covered a lot in these 3 visits, but it's really important for people here in Franklin County to have trust in this election, have confidence in this election, and also just the information about where they need to go and when they need to go.
Yeah. Kathy, thank you guys. You really are a great partner for Franklin County as a whole. You go out of your way to make sure people understand the issues, understand where to go. And I can't thank you all enough for that. So thank you. I think we've got a great system put in place. If anybody has many questions, we voted over 70% in the general for the governor's or for the presidential race. Mm-hmm. These are the same locations you voted in for those.
Okay.
So, I mean, in theory, if you can still go to the same location you went last in 2020 in the fall. So we
should do it again.
Yes, go vote. We don't order all these ballots. The costs that are associated with elections are only too expensive if people don't use the options. Elections belong to the people. Let's get the people out and get them to vote. So thank you all.
Well, that sounds like a good wrap up to me. Again, we will encourage everybody to get out and vote. Election day is May 17th, but you have those early voting days. You can get out there. We hope you do just take advantage of this opportunity. It's your, not only your right, but it's your responsibility and your duty as a citizen here in Franklin County. So let's get out there and choose who our leaders are, because they're going to be making important decisions right here in Franklin County. So that's it for this series with our Franklin County Clerk, Jeff Hancock. We want to thank him for coming and sharing all of this information. And we hope to see you on Election Day.